Morning, it's Saturday now, April the 23rd. It's wet outside, so I'm going to sit here and take care of all the plants inside. And I'm going to record it and see how good of an update video I can do for you. I only had 18 Kelsey seeds left, so I got 2 rows here. I'll have less Kelsey seedlings definitely now than I was aiming for. I had enough Rosa di Milano to fill out these 9 rows, so that's 81 seeds. I will probably have more if they grow well in here. I'll have more Rosa di Milano than I was aiming for, so they'll fill out the rest of the bed where I was planning on putting the Kelsey. I remembered why I was going to plant these lettuce early. I was thinking about with a pot bottle, but I don't have any pot bottles. I want to make a hanging planter and put in my sunroom very early. Now this was what I was put together when I was doing the wicking mat on the bottom shelf there, but I'm not going to use this for the wicking mat anymore, but it will make a perfect hanging planter. So I'll move that back, and what I need to do, I need to put a hole on each side here and a hole on each side here to put a string on. Okay, so I got those 2 holes put together, and now I'll fill this up with some pre-moistened potting soil I got. I'm thinking maybe I should, because when I was filling it up just then, initially I was thinking, well, I just watch it and when it dries out I'd put more water in it. But I might later on want to actually hang this outside somewhere. So this will hold water right now. So I'll put a few holes in the bottom. So that way now, if I want, I can bring it out and hang it outside somewhere. I'm not going to put the string in here on camera because I'm going to have to bring this up to the sunroom and find out exactly how I'm going to attach it to the ceiling and let it hang down. How many do I have? Actually, I've got 2 containers, so I'm going to separate them. I have the Lola Rosa and Curled Simpson. So I got fewer Lola Rosa. I'll put the Lola Rosa in here, and I have a longer one down there that I'll make and put the Curled Simpson in. I have to make a fairly big hole. Let's see how many we got first. I only have 4 of the Lola Rosa. Which, this is a small pot, so that'll only take 4 anyway. Make the hole big enough so that the full root ball can fit down in the hole that I'm making. See, I didn't make it big enough. Better to have the hole big enough, or a little too big, and push the soil in around it than not have it big enough. There's 2 in this one, but I'm not going to separate them. That's what I got out of 10. The other ones I'm going to put in this longer one and repeat the same process. Now there, that's the plan. It's hung from 2 hooks up on the ceiling. Go down, there's a small one, and the longer one is hung off the small one down to there, and we'll see how the lettuce grow there. So I have some pre-moistened soil here. Now this here, I mentioned before, I got my Brussels sprouts here, and they're starting to struggle. This one is really struggling on the corner here, and you can see the yellowing leaves on some of them. So I'm going to hot pot them. Now that is the Long Island. The Falstaff seems to be doing better. So I'll pot them first into these solo cups. I'm getting smart. I'm putting a tray down before I try to use my potting soil here so I don't get a mess all over my desk. Things are thawed out a bit outside, but it's another 2 weeks before I plant outside at least, and that will be onions. So these have to sit in these containers for a little bit, and then of course I have to harden them off. This does have a little hole in the bottom, I can poke them out. Very good root system on them, you see. So that's nice. I'm going to have to put that back up there. See, there's a line between, you get enough of a root system that you can poke them out and you get a really nice clump out like this because of the roots all holding the soil together. But if you go too far, then you've got too many roots and it's root bound. So you gotta kind of find that area where it's just the right time to up pot them. I'll finish these off now and we'll come back for the next thing. So that was the Long Island Brussels sprouts and the Falstaff Brussels sprouts. Now I have 2 rows here of broccoli Arcadia. This is a really good broccoli. So when I went to hot pot these broccoli Arcadia, I noticed that they are far from filling out their pot. There's just a few roots on the top. So I'm going to leave them in there. And I have to decide on what I'm going to move out of here. You see, these two on their self-flats, I think I've already said it in another video, they're basically to get the plant just up and growing, similar to the mini soil block thing. So I have some fairly big cabbage here. This is, I think look like there's 3 dill. This is the cauliflower. Amaranth, Love Lies Bleeding. And I think that's all that will come up. There was a grass seed in here. That's what that is. It's a weed. So I'll take that up out of there. Put that in the compost. And yeah, we'll plant up, move these now. So what I need to do to transplant those, you see, I filled this is a 40 cell flat, but pretty close to the same size as the 72 cell flat. I have to make a hole that's big enough to fit the full plug down into. So now I'm going to take a Amaranth Love Lies Bleeding, if I can get this to hang out over without knocking you. And so you got this full plug like this, right? And that's to fit down. As you can see, it doesn't fit, so make that hole bigger. I'll let them grow in there, like I said, until their roots fill out the pot, and then I'll put them up into, well, depending on the time and that, might put them up into another bigger cup, or I might put them outside, right? That depends on how fast they grow. But as I said, for the other one, see, if you can leave them until their roots are fairly filling out the bucket, then you don't get this. This one now, because there was very little roots down here, the plug fell apart. But because I've started this now, I want to at least fill out this row. So I'm going to move those other 3 out there anyway. Now I transplanted the amaranth. I had 3 good dill there. 5 cauliflower snow crown. And 5 cabbage hurley round Dutch. You can see the holes there where I took plants out. And now you see some of those signs, they're blank, because I've taken 5, like the cabbage early round Dutch. They came out of here. 5 is enough. So I've left this now, this is a blank row. I can seed it with something else. I just have to seed it with something that I know the difference in. For instance, this row here, it was earlier a broccoli that was in there, the broccoli Arcadia that I showed you. But of course that's obviously not broccoli. I reseeded it when I took out those broccoli with butterfly milkweed. Some of them I didn't get very many, and some of them, like the asters, there's nothing growing at all. The echinacea, that is actually, it looks like it's a Shanghai goji. that the seed got over there. It's not an Echinacea plant. The Echinacea plant looks like that. See, that's an Echinacea plant there. I only have the one. Aunt Molly's ground cherry, there's nothing coming up yet. So I'm going to fill in those places where I took out plants and reseed the entire tray. I have some plants, some seeds set. Tim from Trollforge, he informed me that Annapolis Seeds adds sea buckthorn seeds. Not only that, when I got them, you check this. They say that the sea buckthorn don't need stratification. Just plant them anytime in spring. We like to start them indoors at the beginning of April. Of course, that's gone past now, but that's okay. Unlike most shrubs, they don't require cold stratification. Pot them up and move them outdoors in June. Plant in the ground in the fall or in their second year. Thrives in dry soil and full sun, which is what we were talking about before, about the sea buckthorn that I never got a chance to grow. Speaking of never got a chance to grow, don't know if I showed you yet. It's coming along. I'm going to move that up into one of those solo cups now. Because, well, it's a shrub and it likes to get its roots down, so I'll move that up into a solo cup and it'll be much better than leaving it in there, I think. So now that was sea buckthorn. While I was at Annapolis Seeds, this is one of the medicinal herbs. I decided that I might as well grab a packet of those too while I was at Elecampane. It is a perennial with tall yellow flowers, a powerful herb, and useful soil building plant, huge leaves and tall yellow flowers. A perennial. Both of them have very small seeds. So starting them in the 200 cell flat will be good. Okay, so the Shanghai Express, I still have quite a few seeds of that, but I'm going to reseed where I've already got it planted. Aunt Molly's ground cherry, that's another one I have to reseed. And I think I'm going to put in some asparagus. I have 4 plants out there, but they're not going to go to waste. I like asparagus. This is another one from Tim at Troll Farm. He says it needs 30 days cold stratifying, which I'm too late for that really. I'm going to try and just set in 10 seeds and see what happens in these little trays. And then there's the black locust. I need to scarify them with boiling water. The honey locust seeds, they're fairly big, but I mean, I just put them there to get them to sprout, right? So after they scarify, I think I'm going to stick them down into the cells here, and pretty much as soon as they're up with their seed leaves open, I'll have to take them out and put them in a proper cup. For the locust seeds, both need to be scarified by dunking them in hot water and then letting it sit for 24 hours. So these 2 cups, just put them in the microwave and boil the water. I'm just going to drop the seeds in there. $20 seeds, because I'm going to do 2 rows of seeds. Stir them in the 200 cell flat, right? And since I've figured out that idea for getting pots, then I'm going to have an easy time with it. I'll just have them in the pots and I can plant them whenever. That was the black locust, so I have to stick that packet right there so that I know I got black locust in there. Now for the honey locust, I don't have as many. We'll count them as I'm putting them in. "13 honey locusts, and we'll see what we get out of that. Everything should do fine. Now for the Siberian pea shrub, as I was saying, technically they're supposed to be cold stratified for 30 days. But I have to soak them in warm water. Let stand in the water for 12 hours. So I'm going to do that. I'll just get some warm tap water. And same thing, if they swell up, then you can plant them and wait for them to sprout. And what do we have here? Most of the tomatoes are up. Almost 120. And the peppers, of course, they're a little later and they're sprouting now. But I'm not going to move these yet. I'm going to let them get bigger because, as I was saying, these are far from root bound, and you let the roots get fairly plentiful in their confines before I move them, and that way it's easier to get the plug out in one piece. The onions have grown up again. I could trim them again, and I think I will. Last year I planted out on the 5th of May, so that's almost 2 weeks from now. And also I think it'd be better to have them trimmed when I plant them out. Oh, and yeah, I got quite a few red spring onion in there. Last for this little update video, if you remember the really large onion, the largest one I got last year, and I don't really know what the variety is, I'm thinking it might be Kelsey. I put it in this container with sand and in the spare fridge over the winter. So I've taken it out now. I'm going to give it some water and put it in the sunroom. Let it sprout, and hopefully we'll get some seed off that this year.